Hello viewers, it's another Sunday and my name is Maame Grace. I welcome you to the biggest spiritual platform, Revelations. We talk everything spirituality, we talk everything religion, we talk everything book, we talk everything witchcraft, we talk everything that has to do with spirituality. Once again, I welcome you to Revelations. I am Revelations and my name is Maame Grace. It's another episode. And then your guest no I think I may be introducing it, but today we are discussing redefinition of Eurocentric creation story and the true picture of the Ark of the Covenant. A door swankasa. And no one some Yabeka, the ABC Ark of the Covenant, and baby. A warning, the Twatwa, so near we are Bible stories, Nibimu, said they are priests, SSA or dressing, and now free. I mean, how a priest should look like. Our guest is Nufiala. Nufiala, welcome once again.
Thank you very much.
I hope you people remember this man. He came to give me a whole lot of issues. So, Nufiala, please, I have one to introduce you.
Well, my name is Nufiala MAWUFEMOR KORBLA NORNYIBEY. I'm into spirituality. I'm a researcher. I'm a tourism consultant. Well, and a businessman as well. Jack of all trade.
Jack of all trade. Okay, Nufiala, welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, today we will redefinition of Eurocentric and Ark of the Covenant and the blah blah blah. What is Ark of the Covenant? Is it necessary? Is it important for us to talk about it?
Well, first of all, before I start, I would like to start with this scripture. That is Deuteronomy, the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 32, verse 7. I will read it from my phone briefly. Remember the days of old. Consider the generation long past. Ask your father, and he will tell you. Your elders, and they will explain it to you. On this note, let me acknowledge my forebearers. Dr. Amida Okumoji Kagbo, Sofo Kofiche Ahaji, Trono Saji Aflau, and all the chief priests, Togbi Gagli, Togbi Fiango, Kleko, and all the chief priests on our lands or through our lands. Yes, to answer or to come into your question, yes, it is important to address this issue of the Ark of the Covenant. And before I would like to go into the Ark, I would like to establish some basic things, or I like to connect certain things. I like to redefine certain things so that when we get to the issue of the covenant, it will be easy for all of us.
Okay. So,
creation. Currently, or the Bible as we have today, as with the Eurocentric creation story that we have in the Bible today, has created a lot of confusion or a lot of argument between scholars, or let me say people, students of the Bible, let me use it this way, from different religious background. But when you go into the book of Genesis, chapter 1, verse 1 to 2, you will find out that even Mami Wata is older than the Christian God.
Really?
Yes.
Like really?
If we go deep into it.
Go deep into it?
Yes. So I will read. I didn't bring my Bible, but I have the verse here printed out. So we read Genesis chapter 1, verse 1, verse 2. After that, I will explain. It said, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Now, the earth was formless and empty. Darkness was over the surface of the deep. The Spirit of God was hovering over the waters. He said, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Now, so which means before the creation. Verse 2 is talking about before the creation, the earth was what? Formless. The earth was formless and empty. So it means that the earth existed already. But probably as the translation went, it was formless. That is, it was not properly arranged.
But this doesn't mean Mami Water was there before then.
Let's go ahead.
And before you continue, let me ask you one question. Do you believe in the Bible?
Believe?
Yes. Do you believe in the Bible? Do you believe that the Bible is the word of God?
Well, I wouldn't say the Bible is the word of God, but I would say the Bible, or let me say in particular, the Old Testament is what our dealings, our ancestors' dealings with the energies that have been captured down. But it has nothing to do with the Eurocentric concept of God that has been packaged to us as a people.
So do you believe in the Bible? Simple.
Yes, I believe in the Bible.
Do you read Bible in your shrines? Do you use Bible for anything on your shrines or any shrine that you think maybe you've...
But the 10 commandments you have in the Bible is the laws that are in our shrines.
So do you use the Bible in your shrines?
We don't use the Bible.
I am asking you this because everything you are trying to submit here right now,
yes,
you are using the Bible.
Yes.
So if you don't believe in it, why then do you use the word of the words in the Bible to bargain your case?
Maame Grace, the Old Testament is older than Christianity.
We are not talking about Christianity.
Yes, I'm coming, because right now, currently, Christians are holding to the Bible as if it is their constitution. Yes, the New Testament can be as the constitution of Christianity, but the Old Testament has nothing to do with Christianity because, one, Moses and co were not Christians.
Okay.
They were traditional people.
We will talk about this Bible and Christianity and whatever, but unless a pastor is here to buttress this case. I just wanted to be sure.
Yes.
Because I don't understand why you would make your submission based on something you don't believe in. So when it happens like that, what are you communicating?
You see, when we use the term believe, we make it to look religious. And that is why I'm saying that the Old Testament has nothing to do with the religion.
Do you believe in your shrines? Do you believe in your sacrifices that you do? You believe in them?
Yes.
So is it not the same thing I'm asking you right now?
The Bible,
it comes back to belief.
The Bible is not an energy. The Bible is not an energy that you offer sacrifices to. The Bible is paper and ink.
I will call a pastor for you, but you continue from where you started.
So
the land was, the Spirit of God was
So it said what? The earth was there, but it was formless. So which means the earth was there, but things were not properly arranged. I just want to break certain things down before I move ahead. Then he said, if darkness, they said this, in the same translation, he said what? Darkness. Said there was darkness on the face of the deep. So again, in quotes, the Eurocentric concept of God or Christian God did not create darkness. Darkness was already on the earth. Now let's proceed. Already. Then they said the Spirit of God was hovering over the waters, which means it didn't even say water, over the waters. So which means the sea, the rivers, the lakes that we all see today were already in existence.
Nobody created them.
That is why I said, if we go deep, Mami Water may be older than the Christian God.
Who is a Christian God? Who is the Christian God? No, I want to understand.
Yes,
I believe people
Yes, the Christian God is the monotheistic concept of God. That is that one God that the Eurocentric translations have packaged for us as a people.
Which is
the name God in the Bible.
Okay, so this name God in the Bible you are referring to, is it different from Jesus? I want to understand. I just want to get the thing straight.
If you ask me this question, then you are saying that Jesus is God.
He is. Is he not?
He can be.
Okay, you continue. So, Maame Water was there. I will call a pastor for you.
I wish you do that.
I will do. Hey, you wish. I said I will do.
So,
that.
as we were saying, it said, the Spirit of God was hovering over the waters. So it means all the types of waters we have today, from the sea to the river to the lakes, all the freshwater bodies were already in existence. So God did not create water per the Eurocentric translation. And I think we need to get this picture very clear. And wherever there is water, be it sea water, fresh water, there is always life. So, and I believe you agree with me.
I agree.
Where there is water, there is always life. So for them to do the translation for us, to make it look like everything just pop up in their translations, I have problem with that.
Okay, fine. So now you are saying that because the waters were there and the Spirit of God was hovering on the waters or around the waters, that is where you are deducing that Maame Water was older than the Christian God. Is that it?
But Mami is the waters. The Mami, Minanao, we call them Minanao. They are older than the Christian concept of God.
So are you saying Maame Water dwells in every water?
Yes. Sea, fresh water, they all dwell there. We have the sea one, we have the fresh water one.
That's Maame Water dwells in.
Yes, we have
but
those
who is Maame Water? What is Maame Water?
Good. You've asked a very good question.
Yes, I need answers.
In our ever Pilo language, we say Mami Woda. And in most, what we call the energy, we call Mami Water. Sometimes they call it Mami. It comes and they have that scale on the ship. But when they normally appeared, it comes in the form of snake. So the first appearance that came, our ancestors said Mami Wo Da. That is, Mami have turned into a snake. So it became that is the original name. Now, the one that dwells, or people see that lives in the sea or in the water, is what was corrupted as what? Mami Water. That is this thing. But it is an energy. It was part of the creation, or the energies that created this world. Maame Grace, when you go into this, they say God, they make it to look like it was only a figure, one person that created the world. No. But when you go into their own Ashkenazi translation, or the so-called Hebrew translation, they say what? Elohim. What is the meaning of Elohim? Elohim is plural, means gods, energies, created the universe. That is why somewhere you say, let's make man.
In our own image.
In our own image. Now, if he said, let's make man in our own image, and man comes, and he has all the features, wouldn't God also have the same features?
Okay.
No, Maame Grace. Mm-hmm. Wouldn't God also have the same features?
Are you trying to say that God is a transgender God?
No, I didn't say transgender.
So what are you insinuating right now?
So who was he saying, let's make man in our own image? Who was he referring to?
God is a creator that can create anything.
Yes.
That can create anything.
So why don't you accept transgender?
So I should accept transgender.
No, I'm asking
I'm
why.
a woman. God made me a woman. How would I? So you see who is saying that Elohim is this?
Yes, so that's why I'm saying that the term Elohim, it is a plural form. So it does not represent only one God. It's talking about gods coming together to to bring this creation that we see.
Okay, Nufia Laga, we are talking about the Eurocentric and then
Yes,
the Ark
so
of the Covenant. But there is this thing I want you to clear it here for me. Mami water. Mami no adani snake. And I answer, yes, Mami water. Mami ofri sumu. So this Mami water, yeah, will refer to Mami water. Is it the same thing that appears with fish tails and all that? Is it the same thing?
Madam, that is what we see with the fish tail. It's a perception.
Are you saying they are not in existence?
I'm yet, I want to speak reality.
Okay,
I'm yet to see something like that.
But the ones that comes out of the water and turn into snake, that one, have you experienced that one?
Yes, I've had several encounters.
Have you seen it?
I've seen things, Maame Grace.
Like you mean?
I've witnessed things. I've seen things. Everything that I talk about.
Describe to me, how does it appear? You don't say much.
Maame Grace, with this, I can only tell you that I've seen things and I've seen things appearing. But how to describe it on your show, on how it appears on that one, I'm not permitted to do that.
You are not permitted to do that.
I'm not permitted.
You didn't tell them you were coming to Revelation.
No, I'm not permitted. I've not even speak on this subject, on how certain energies appear. I can't do that.
You can't do that.
Unless
but is it possible one day you come and tell us?
Definitely, I will do. But we just started. This is my second time on your show.
Next time when you are coming, tell them it's Revelation. Revelation is anything, any subject you hit on it, any question that comes out of that subject, you are supposed to answer.
We are just warming up. Don't worry.
We are not warming up. You are warming up and you don't want to answer my question.
With this. So you don't worry. You know, now, this time, you can see I'm relaxed. So don't worry, we will get to all that. Next time, you see, I see people come and talk about spirituality on your shows. Well, after listening to a lot of people, I can confidently tell you those who understand spiritual things and those who don't. So I will not pretend as if certain things doesn't exist. Things exist. But the truth is, some of these things have been in existence for thousands and millions of years. So we can't just get up and say, hey, I know this spirit. I know all this. No. We can't do so. When I see people saying, hey, God talked to me, I met God, and
no, you also saw Mami Water, Mami Water. You mean no? Everybody is seeing. And but me too, no, what you just said is true, because to me, as a spiritual person, I know spirituality is a mystery. You can never get to the bottom of it.
Exactly.
But there are parts of it, if you say you decide to delve into it, you will get to know and know more about it.
Maame Grace, on our next show, I will go deep on Mami Water.
You go deep?
I will go deep.
So you come and talk about
Mami Water, and I will explain everything, how even the name came about.
And how they appear.
How they appear, the work they do.
So you are going to seek permission?
Don't worry, I will come and I will address.
Viewers, you are watching Revelations, the biggest spiritual platform. Yes, my name is Maame Grace. The church office is open. The office is open. Please, that place, at some any yedini wo yedi honhom sem e wo office wo enya de a oyefunya oya wonko hospital. The miracle is in the hands of the doctor. We believe in hospital. So wukunu so na ebo wa ebi a wutimu bon kokoro ai because honhom sem ene yedini wo. You are watching Revelations. It's coming all the way from Jerome Studios. And my name is Maame Grace. I'm your host. We are discussing Ark of the Covenant, and then definition of Eurocentric and Eurocentric creation story and the true picture of the Ark of the Covenant.
Yes, Maame Grace, let's decode this one as we move.
Okay.
Now, in the same Genesis chapter 2, it did talk about the tree of life and the tree of the knowledge of good and bad and evil. You see, when you read the creation story, you will find out that things were called into existence per the translations. Now, there are a lot of things that I say that these Europeans copy from our ancestors and put them together and package them and rebranded it for us. People sometimes disagree. But I want to decode this thing, the tree of life and the tree of good and evil. Was it an ordinary tree? Or was it human? Was it people? Was it referring to people? Now, before I go into that, let me read that particular verse so that we all understand. Genesis chapter 2, verse 9. The Lord God made all kind of tree grow out of the ground, tree that were pleasing to the eyes and good for food. In the midst of the garden were the tree of life and the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. So, first one talks about tree bearing fruits that are good for food and herbs that we can use to cure ourselves. Then, in the latter part, he said what? In the midst of the garden were the tree of the knowledge, the tree of life and the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. Now, when we read this, I know a lot of people bring a lot of meanings into this. But trees, as in the middle of the garden, tree of life and the tree, the tree of good and the knowledge of good and evil, represent people.
Which people?
We will go into it. First of all, let's decode this using 3 languages, our local languages in Ghana.
Okay.
Let me start with my Everpilo language. We call the human body Am-chi. Am-chi. Chi means tree. If you come to the Akan language,
Nipeduya.
Nipa what?
Dua.
Nipa dua. Then when you come to the Gadangbe, Bomo cho. Bomo cho. So the cho in you is man, it's a person. It's referring to, because when you read the verse that I just read, the first one said there was a tree. He had already created the fruit-bearing trees and all the trees already. Then shift to the garden, and it did mention of the tree of life and the tree of knowledge of good and evil. What does that mean? As I said, I've decoded this thing using 3 languages that we speak in Ghana. So those people, what we saw there, represent people. The tree of life represent people who are righteous, or who are who were tuned to nature, and they were practicing what they were told, or the rules of nature. And there are other fruits, the tree that looks good, but at the same time evil. That's why they say there's a way that seems right unto a man, but end thereof is what? It's death. It was a whole generation. History, let me say, research has proven that every 5,000 years, when man has polluted himself, when man has polluted this earth, when man has polluted its spirituality, the energies comes back again to do factory resetting. So what we actually saw being said, we read from the Genesis chapter 9 there, is talking about a whole resetting taking place, just like the story of Noah. I said this thing some time ago, but I will revisit there. So it wasn't about a physical tree, but it was representing people. Because when you read, we go further, you realize that, one, even when Cain and Abel's story came, one killing is, I think Cain killed Abel. And according to the translation, God came and he was asking Cain, I think Cain also, where is your brother? And he said, am I my brother's keeper? And I think a curse or judgment was pronounced on him that if anyone finds, he said, if anyone finds me, when anyone kills you, he will suffer 7 times. So if these people were the only people on earth, who was going to kill him? God himself or the parent? Something is not right with the Eurocentric translation of the Bible as we have today.
But don't you think that maybe there were evil people, or there were Christians like me, and there were before like you? So it's exactly you that before God was warning his children
it's
about.
It's exactly what I'm telling you, that there were a lot of people, good and bad, there. It wasn't talking about specific tree bearing fruit, because already that has been defined in there.
Okay, so to you, the tree was representing human beings.
No, not to me. Even let's go back again. Now, with this, in our local settings, Maame Grace, have you been to a funeral and a tribute is being read and you hear edua kesiebi ebu ana edua kesiebi etutu? What is the meaning?
I'm coming. Is this how you translate this Bible, or that is what you think they are?
No, I'm coming to the original creation story.
So I want to build. Creation. Don't tell me your mind.
No, I'm not telling you my mind. I'm building a point so that I can reveal certain things.
Keep on building.
Psalm 1 verse 3. Let's read. And said, and he shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of waters, that bringeth forth his fruit in his season.
All season, yes.
Good. He said, and he will be like a tree. Who is he? Is it not representing a man or a person?
But do you know we have plants and animals, and we count all ourselves together as plants? Have you calculated this part as well?
Maame Grace.
No, I'm just asking.
Yes, I've looked at all that, but
so
technically,
if this is how you translate the Bible, it's wrong.
What makes it is wrong based upon what we've learned from the Eurocentric translations. But when you bring it to our spirituality, our culture, our tradition.
So then why don't you quote your culture book and leave my Bible alone?
I will come. No, the Bible, because people have made this Bible to look, as you said earlier on, in quote, the word of God. So we need to interrogate it and make sure the writing is understood by our people. So again, Jeremiah 17:18, he said, he is like a tree planted by the rivers of waters. And it continues. I just don't want to spend this time. So all that I'm trying to put this thing in this perspective, that trees, the tree in the book of Genesis that talks about that the trees that were found in the middle of the garden, that is talking about the tree of life and the tree of good and evil, does not represent a physical tree, but they were people. There were thousands of people.
Okay.
In that cycle way before that. Then now, let's come to our own creation story from the ever pile.
I wanted to ask one question before you continue.
Okay,
so if this, what you are saying is the tree, the whatever was representing human.
Yes.
Okay, that's so. What happened between the apple, the fruit eating thing, and the sex thing? What happened there? Oh, simple.
Very interesting question.
Yes.
There was nothing like fruits or apple.
So what happened? What is it? Sex?
It's not sex.
So what is it? What was it? Since you know the tree were
Maame
human,
Grace,
you
Maame
should be able to tell me what happened.
Relax. I only use this one to build this thing. So now I'm now going to the question you are asking.
So you will get here.
I'm getting there.
Okay.
So now we will go into the ever pilo creation story. How humans, how people, where we came from, how we came to this manifestation. Because it is so heavy in our language, I took my time to write it so that I can get the right English. So I'm going to read it.
Okay.
So that we can all take it up from there. But first, the Eurocentric translation of the Bible, or from what we've learned, have made us to believe that man was created somewhere around the Garden of Eden. That is where man was created. And someone even have it as the first person, the name is Adam, and all that, which basically is not true. Now,
which is not true? Which one? What? Please explain.
All the things that you heard right now.
That Adam.
Yes, it's not true.
There was nobody like that.
It's not true.
No, if it's not
there
true.
was nobody. The first man was not called Adam.
What was his name, please?
We are going there. So, Maame Grace, now let me go to the point. I can see you are itching. Yeah, that is how it's supposed to be. So relax. Now, I don't know whether you've heard of this continent, this lost continent. There's a lost continent called the lost continent of Mu. Mu, M-U. That is where the creation story took place. What is, somebody will ask, what is Mu? Now, this is the definition of moon from the Ever-Pilo language, that is the language of the gods. If I say the language of the gods or the divinity is called, we will come to that. But let me give you the definition of Mu. Mu means the complete totality of all creation of life, which came into manifestation. That is the meaning of Mu in the Ever-Pilo language, or in the language of the gods, which is Hadagana. Now, and the first people who came out of this creation were known as what? Amu or Hamuao.
Hamuao.
Or Amu. Let me put it that way.
So are you, if you say what the Hamuao, are you saying they are worse?
If you say Amuao, then it's like plural. There are many.
Yes.
I'm coming.
Okay.
So, so relax. So, this language, when you read the Bible, I think Genesis chapter 10, I want to make a connection. They said what? First they say God came to confuse our language. And they continue to say that before we were all speaking the same language. What language was that? What language was it?
You tell us.
Now,
was there a language?
Yes, there was.
What language was that?
It was called Hadagana. It was the language of the gods.
So are some people still speaking that language?
Yes, I'm coming.
Who are those?
Yes, you come to that. So
no, who are those? Tell me.
Now let me read. No, I'm answering your questions, Maame Grace. Let me read it so that you understand it perfectly. Now, Adagana is the promotional language of Gudologosu, or simply means the language of the gods or the divinities. And in general, Adagana is the hidden creative language behind every spoken word on this planet. Unfortunately, the Amuao of West Africa, that is Ghana, Togo, Benin, and Nigeria, are the luckiest dialect on earth that can speak Hadagana easily and than any other ethnic city.
Now I want to know which language is Adagana.
Now, Adagana is the language of the gods.
Which is, speak one or two. Let's see if can I communicate with you in that language, or it's only when I want to communicate with God.
Only it's when you are initiated into it.
So tell us. I want to be there. Me, I want to do anything.
Maame Grace, you see, relax. Some of these things, to experience it, you have to be initiated into the energies.
Okay, so simple. Break it down for us to understand. Hadagana or whatever language is like bim, bim, bim. These people are the people that speak this
yes, that's
language.
what I said. In West Africa, we have. In West Africa, you have mentioned 4 countries.
4 countries, Ghana.
Ghana.
And in
Ghana, specifically, Ghana, the people who are lucky, who are close to that language, is we the others.
That's what I'm asking.
Yes, I'm building the point. I'm getting the. Then our people in Benin, Togo, and part of Nigeria.
And most of these people speak the language like Ewe. So are you
Yes.
taking the idea?
No, Nyabuto. That's why when you listen to what I read carefully, I said Adagana is the hidden creative language behind every spoken languages on the face of this planet. And the luckiest people, if I say the luckiest people who still can speak that language of the gods, are these people these people living in these countries that I've mentioned. That doesn't mean that others cannot speak, because my research have led me into that path. So if someone to have some that have gone research into Akan language that have the same definition as we have, then we can go on. Because these things are coded in our cosmology, which only us who can define what it is. And the people of...
if you say only us, you add. Us the Ewes.
Us we the Ewes.
So we know you are taking the shefu.
So, in nutshell, so you can see what we were told in Genesis chapter 10, that they were building towers. The Tower of Babel. That is why God came to destroy the world. It's not true. Today, there are tall skyscrapers that are taller than those buildings. Why didn't God drop from the sky to confuse all that? But you see, at that point, or in that time, our ancestors who came, that is, they came from the innermost chambers of the Creator, were known as what? The Naga Sachiao. This Naga Sachiao, let me say, they are people who carries this knowledge. And when we were leaving the lost continent of Moon, some went far east. So you go to India, you can see our people, the Nagas. As I'm speaking, people should do their own little research. When you go to the Indians, people who have learned spirituality and they've reached certain level, they call them Nagas. And even the same people left and went to a place called in Japan known as what? The Nagasaki or Nagasaki, to go and build their spirituality there. So Shintoism that belongs to the Japanese, when you come to the Everland, there is a deity, there is a divinity called Shito that is there. Now, Shiva, we will call it Vodudan in the Ever language. It's the same spirituality. There are even shrines or deities in India called Denu and other stuff. You can ask your Maharaj, who is into some of this. He can give you more. Probably I would like to pay him because he have a lot of insight.
Maharaj, you've been called.
Yes, into that aspect. I think he can help me to establish some of these things.
Okay.
Yes.
I'll call him for you.
Yes. So it are the same people. Our people who moved from that lost continent of Mu also proceed to China, which is today China. And the Chinese people don't even call themselves China. They call themselves China. Do your investigation.
What's spread China?
See, our ancestors. No, Maame Grace, what we need to know is that our ancestors, if I say our ancestors, including your ancestors, move from the length and breadth of this world to carry this knowledge and spread it all over the world. But the evil ones package this things and convert it into religion, which was not the original intention. Okay, so
please let me ask this question. My parents gave me like 8 regions, and now 8 tribes in Ghana, because my father comes out of 4 different tribes, and my mother also came from 4 different tribes. Intimately, 8 different tribes moja ran it through me. So tribalism is something I don't like. But it doesn't mean that I don't want to know every tribe and their energies. It helps you to know the vibrations. Mami bisa we, ade we ya wo kan nyina ever na China for kura nya China. Mi bisa say wo research na wo ye no. Do you do it for only your people, or you do it as a general something that you know other tribes also carried something like you were saying?
Oh.
Because based on the names you are mentioning, it's like China, India, before.
Well, I will respectfully answer your question.
Thank you. Please do.
You see, most of the time I have this clash on Facebook.
Okay.
You know, people think I'm being, tribalistic or something, trying to project who my ancestors were. Because my research was based on my people, where we came from. Now, during the process, I realized that there were other tribes. For instance, the Dagon people from Mali have the same stuff. Go to the Gonjas in the northern Ghana, part of Ghana. Everything are like our people. We have just the language.
Be adding them.
Oh, but I have to call my own first.
No, but you've been calling your own. That's my problem.
It was me friend me there first. That
but
one
others.
So when others too have done their research, they should also bring it. My research is good. So that's what I'm saying. Other people have mentioned the Dagbon tribes.
Should I say you are being selfish? Right?
No, I'm not being selfish, because one, most of the researches that I've done through some of our elders and my own research points to that direction.
Okay.
You see, it points to that direction. But you see, one thing we need to understand is, if we in the ancient past were speaking the same language and something happened and we all split, everybody was having his own language, we are all one people. Probably the language that might change. For instance, let me give you an example. Kra. Cheese, people will say mikra.
Kra.
Kra. In Ewe, we say kla. We say nyansa. We say anyasa. You see the similarities.
I see.
There's a lot of similarities in the account language. In this, there are a lot of similarities.
Even the Ewe language, there are differences in them.
Exactly.
The Anglo and what?
That is how it has been. But that doesn't mean, that's what I said, we are all one people. The language that changes,
so let me ask, if we were all speaking one language, you are a researcher, till now, what language do you think we were speaking by then?
That is why I said the language that we were speaking then was what? The Hadagana. The Hadagana is the language of the gods. I was about to build a point before.
This Hadagana thing, is it English, Ewe or Twi?
No, it's not English. Cannot even. English is a baby language. English is just a baby, developed just recently. The letter J is less than 500 years.
So that Hadagana, what is it? Is it Hebrew? Is it what?
No, Hadagana is older than Hebrew. It's the language that the energies, if I say the energy, the divinities, the gods speak. So until you understand this language, now let me.
So we cannot say whether it is Hausa.
No, it's to be honestly, you can hear. That's why I say you can hear some of the languages in it, but the majority of them is that side. That's why I said when you listen to what I read earlier on, I said what? Hadagana is the hidden creative language behind every spoken word on the face of this planet. And fortunately, the Amwao I mentioned all that, you understand? So it doesn't mean every language, because I am able to identify my ever palo one in it. Yes, I could hear when we are with the energies. I do hear when people are speaking Hadagana. I do hear certain languages that sounds like other languages. You understand? That's why I say it's the creative force behind every language is spoken. But the luckiest people who understands and speak this language, even within the Ewe fraternity, within the Ewe language, Anglo, Bid, Baduma, it's not everyone who can speak that language. Even, that's why I said, people think I'm being, even about 60 or 70% of others don't understand Adagana.
It's a special language.
It's a special language. It's the language that the energies, the divinities speak.
Okay, so
so unless you are initiated and you become
so
part
it's a
of
language
them,
for a community. Now, can we put it like that?
No, I won't buy the community
so what
idea.
I want to know whether the language is for a group of people.
That is why I say it's the language of the energies. It's the language of the gods.
If it's a language of the gods, most definitely some people with
Yes.
the gods are speaking it.
Yes,
so
that's
who
what
are these people?
Hey, my people are part. The others are part. Our people in Fon, our people in Ebe, Togo, all these things in Benin, Badagry, Nigeria. Some of them speak all this language, and it's not every ever who can speak. And that's why I say about 60. I can confidently say about 60 to 70% of others don't understand Adagana because some of them are not initiated into some of this. Right. So I am on the Tower of Babel issue.
Okay.
So they created the impression that our people were building a story building, and the energies came and said,
yes, that let's confuse their language, blah blah blah.
Yes.
I wanted you to do something small for me right now.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, so you speak the Hadagana and you understand, right? Right?
Yes, let's go ahead.
You speak, you understand. So in 1 minute, those who understand that language and speak to them. Tell them about Revelation in 1 minute in that language. I want to hear how it sounds and see how I will feel. No, yes, go ahead.
Maame Grace.
No,
you asked me.
Them.
Oh, relax. You asked me about the Mami. I told you the next time.
He needs permission.
The next time,
yes,
I will do that. In my next destiny, I'm not going to be here alone. I will come with someone who also speaks and understand, so that we can communicate.
I'm not saying let's discuss. I'm saying
for me,
greet them. I know, or the language you need permission before you can say
Maame
hello.
Grace, you see, Maame Grace, Maame Grace, our spirituality.
It's not frail like
I'm coming. Our spirituality is not a spoken spirituality. I'm coming. If I say it's not a spoken spirituality or it's not a noise spirituality, people don't understand. Some of the things that we've taken easily in the name of religion, in our spirituality, in our cosmology, it's not like that. You've mentioned someone like, do I know Dr. Midao Kumoji? Yes, I know him. It took him over years to be initiated, to understand, to bring that secret out. It is not something that anyone can just get up and go into it. That's why when people are behind it, they see it as a cult, but it's not a cult. It's just that you cannot just get up and do things like the way others in the other religions do.
You just don't want to answer my question.
No, I'm answering. I told you I can't.
Language.
For now,
you
for
can't.
now, I cannot.
So tell
do
me,
it.
you need permission. Because I don't understand why I can speak a particular language with some people. People don't understand.
But those who want me to speak,
I can't say. I need permission.
No. But all that you want me to do, there's nobody here, even not my viewers.
They are watching us.
Don't worry, our viewers. Don't worry. Nufiala never disappoint.
You disappointed me here right now.
No, I haven't, and you know I haven't. So I want to build a point. Allow me to build that point first.
I'm quiet too.
No.
Because at the end of the day, even if I ask a question, you won't answer. So,
Maame Grace, I've answered all your questions.
I said
it's only the Mami word that, and this one. And I told you no.
Hello in that language is a problem.
I won't say it for now. Yes, so please understand, understand that one. So now we went to where they say God confused the language. Let's find out if really God is the one who confused their language. That is Genesis chapter 11, verse 5 to 8. But the Lord, now listen, it says, but the Lord came down to the city and the tower the people were building. The Lord said, if as one people speaking the same language, they have begun to do this, then nothing they plan to do will be impossible for them. Now, 7. This is where I want our viewers to listen. and my honorable Maame Grace. He said, come, let us go down and confuse their language so that they will not understand each other. Maame Grace, come, let us go down and confuse their language. Who are those? Since, if I may ask, who are those? Since we are also for
even in common language, you didn't say. You are asking me. I'm the host. You are not the host.
So here, but you see, when they started, you see how trickish this European translators were. When they started and they said, but the Lord came, which means only one God. Now, when you come to verse 7, it said, come, let us go down and confuse their language. So who is God talking to? I don't want our Christian brothers to come and telling me that is God is talking to his son.
So who was God talking to? You tell me.
So this is what I'm telling you, that the Eurocentric concept of God, that monotheistic concept of God, one God, is false. So the energies were saying, come, let us go and confuse their language. Because one, by then, they were all speaking one language, that is the Hadagana. So our forefathers then could go, they can go into the inner chambers of where the secret knowledge was, because they understand the language of the energies. So they were doing things that the energies were also doing. So they didn't need, like today, you need to go to a deity or a shrine to pray or to kneel down. No, in those days, they can communicate direct because they speak the same language. So the energies realize that no, we have to do something. If not, we become irrelevant. So what they do was, it was the energies, Elohims, or the Elohims, let me borrow the Ashkenazi language, came together, that is the gods, to confuse the language. So when it happened that way, we couldn't understand each other. And that is why today we have so much elemental beings that we need in order to carry or to help us resolve our problems.
So, if I may understand,
yes,
it simply means that we stopped speaking Hadagana language. We got confused, right?
Yes, because several languages were in it.
So that's the reason why we now have to. We can't do things we used to do same as the energies that we have to go to shrines and all that for.
Yes,
what.
before it doesn't.
So
yes,
those who are speaking this Hadagana language, it means that they do things like the energies that. Yes. So are you saying those people are not confused and those people are able to do everything the energies does and they don't visit any shrine?
You've asked a very good question.
So answer me, please.
Yes, those people, yes, they do still visit those shrines. Not because they go and worship them. We don't worship. We black people, in our spirituality, we have nothing like worship. Worship was invented by Europeans. We practice. That is why our ancestors knew that killing someone is wrong. Sleeping with someone's wife, it's wrong. These are common languages. I don't know whether let me build a connection here. The 10 Commandments, as you see, these are do's and don'ts of our shrines, our supreme energies. There is a deity called Sogbo. All the 10 Commandments that you have in the Bible today, it is there. But even the 10 Commandments, it was extracted. I don't know, maybe you have come across the 42 laws of math that we have from the ancient Egypt. Mm-hmm. First, before you get initiated into any divinity, you have to, one, confess. If you've killed someone before, you have to, if you soil your hand with blood, you have to confess. If you sleep with someone's wife, you have to confess. If you lie, see, if you do so, you have to confess first. Then a prayer is offered to you. After that, you'll be initiated. So after the initiation, another rules, laws are given to you. One, as you go, now you're a different being. Now you cannot do what you used to do. So one, if you kill someone, the energy will kill you. So sometimes when people sit outside and they don't understand, especially our ever spirituality, and they think that every ever it kills someone. No. You see, there's something we call Tron. Tron, that are the divinities. These are Tron. Even if you, let me say someone takes you, Maame Grace, to, let me say, for instance, to our shrine in Nogokpo, that it should kill you. No matter what the person does, the shrine, the divinity will come, circle around you, and see and find out that what you are accused of is true or not. And when it is what the person accused you of is not true, they will not touch you. They will come to the person who launched the complaint against you and spiritually arrest him. So sometimes when they arrest him, they are taken back to that place because you've lied against someone.
Okay, you lied against someone. Ashafu Mr. Papa, we are some more can who hear me. Some of the 1 week in our betcha in Pamufani and Fanning 1 week, so we will understand him. And many better was so Yamema and Kwa or China, but if I say maybe the last question. Maybe so about Mami Wada. We say Ubeba back for it. Maybe so about Hadagana language. Also back to it. Now let me ask you my last question. Yes. You said those who said the first man who came on the in the Garden of Eden was Adam.
From
Adam.
The lost the moon.
Adam.
Yes.
You said it's not true.
It's not true.
Why do you say so?
Yes, it's not true because someone just sat down and took the meaning of the name of Adam. Like he has taken me out to just figure out issues and say. But in the ever, or in the our ever, you have a cosmology. Everything is coded in the songs from the creation story. Everything is coded. You see, that the last time I came and I spoke of, someone came and said blah 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 blah, and he came to your show and he was running his mouth. They have Yewa songs, and this Yewa song you need to be initiated to become a member to understand. It's so coded, just like the Adagana language. Okay. So, like the story of Noah, and all that. These are things that are coded in those songs.
Oh, okay. So let's talk about the Adam thing.
Yes. So the Adam story, that the Garden of Eden, that the first man was
not true.
Was not true.
Since
and
when do you know this?
Oh, it has been there. We just that. You see, my dear sister, we've known this for some time. And the man who said this, I don't want to call name to give anybody credence, who said this have been on our several ever platforms. And we realize that he wants to learn. He is part of us. We are all one people. We share so much information with him. So when he came out with this, we just decided to let it be.
Oh, okay.
We just decided to let it be. But until all of a sudden, you see, my dear sister, let me put it this way. This man used to be let me say he's a good person. I've personally met him. And I've seen him trying to do so many. Even in one of his shows, he said the first language that was spoken was Gbegbe. He used the word Gbegbe. I think the next time I'll bring that video to you. But that is not B means sound. B means sound.
I want to clear this
thing. The first person was not called Adam.
But on this same platform, you said, the first person in the Garden of Eden was called Adam. You.
Well, that is when I came to your first show.
Yes, that's why I'm asking. Since when do you know this?
That's why I said we know it. But just that because of our senior man have said it, I
You
just
all
don't want
said that.
I just don't want to contradict him until he went on a different set to cast insinuation on the things that I've said on your show.
Okay, 1 minute.
Yes.
1 minute. So, you don't want, you as a researcher,
yes,
the best you can do is somebody brings out a name and you go with it as a researcher. That is one. And two, this thing that you are telling me now, are you bitter? Is it because he went somewhere to say some things? The reason now what he said that you admitted and used on my platform now is not true. Is that what do you want me to understand?
My dear sister, everything that you see me coming on set to say, when you call on Dr. Kumoji, when you call on Sofu Kofiche Ahaji, these are our senior folks. We discuss issues with them. We meet and we discuss anything that has to do with our language and our spirituality. Okay. There are other people, there are a lot of them. We discuss that issue and we decide to let it be for now. Okay. You understand? Okay. It's not because of I had that beef with him.
I just wanted to clear this.
Me, I personally don't have any personal issues with him. But for him to go, you see, there's one thing I've realized about we blacks. We claim we want to teach about black spirituality and black emancipation. But the least opportunity we get, we try to bring our brothers and sisters down. You see, knowledge is infinite. No one has the entire power to knowledge. So when someone has his and someone has this and he's speaking, take your time. Listen, even if you don't understand, don't condemn the person. Okay. Take your time to go and do research on that. This.
Knowledge is infinite indeed. And Maame Grace said spirituality is a mystery. We'll never get to the bottom of it. Let's keep learning. You are watching Revelations, and my name is Maame Grace. And Ochina, you better watch our conversations we are also with Nufiala. And then the Ejegunichimpa Macron.